Thomas sat in my office 6 months ago. He was a veteran and first responder who had not slept through the night in about 10 years. He'd been through therapy, he'd tried all the medications, he'd done everything the system had told him to do, but none of it stuck. 3 sessions later, his wife calls me, and she was in tears, not because something was wrong, but because for the first time in 10 years, he actually slept through the entire night without having any nightmares. And then he did it again the next night, and then the next. My name's John Shirey. I'm the executive director of Waymakers Wellness, and we specialize in something most people have never heard of. It's called frequency-specific microcurrent, and it's changing what we thought was possible for hard-to-address conditions, including things like PTSD recovery. In the next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what it is, why it works, and how people like Thomas are getting their lives back. And if you're someone who's been carrying this weight for years and nothing has worked for you, I need you to stay with me because this might be the very thing that finally makes the difference for you. And before I explain how this works, I want you to hear from someone else who's been exactly where you are. His name is Jason, and he came to me about 3 months ago, dealing with chronic PTSD from a long career as a veteran and first responder. I want you to listen to what happened after just 2 sessions.
Waymakers, probably the most life-altering treatment I've ever had. It took a guy with 32 years of service, 4 years in the Marines, 28 in law enforcement, with some deep youth trauma and all the career trauma piled on top of that. And it changed my life. I don't really know how to thank John and the team enough. I know he will tell others, you have to expect multiple treatments sometimes, but I can tell you with absolute certainty it's taken me a few days of just trying to make sure. But yeah, it'll change your life. It actually worked for me on the very first treatment. I know that's not typical, but through John's counseling and my belief that this would actually work for me, and frankly, a lot of prayer, it actually worked. And it worked really well. I'd love to be able to tell you more inside of 2 minutes, but I can tell you that if you lean in and you listen to what he's telling you and you don't let the anxiety and fear grip you, the treatment will absolutely work for you. Um, I haven't had one physical problem. I was having a lot of physiological and visual trauma in my sleep, and during the day, it was just kind of there all the time. It was hard for me to be present at home with my family, but that's all gone now. And I'm smiling a lot more and enjoying life a lot more. So hopefully you give it a shot and it'll work for you.
That is not an unusual result. That is what I see on a regular basis. And I want you to understand exactly why it happens. I want you to think of your nervous system as like guitar strings. And when they're in tune, the instrument sounds beautiful the way that it was designed. But when those strings are out of tune, everything sounds off, and the resonance of the strings clash with one another with dissonance. So when you experience trauma, especially repeated or severe trauma, your nervous system gets knocked out of tune. It gets stuck in survival mode, and your fight or flight is always on all the time, even when there's no threat. And here's where it gets interesting. Your body runs on electrical signals and resonance. Every cell, every nerve, every organ operates at a specific resonant frequency. Now, these are God's designed attributes of the human anatomy. Everything on earth operates at a resonant frequency. You can even break glass with a frequency. And the military is even experimenting with frequency to develop weapons. Now, this isn't witchcraft or some woo-woo snake oil. It's quantum science that taps directly into God's design. And when those frequencies get disrupted by trauma, your body starts sending the wrong signals, which creates problems within the system. And that's where the anxiety comes from, all the sleep problems and the hypervigilance. all the gut issues and the exhaustion. It's not a character flaw, it's a resonance problem. And frequency-specific microcurrent was developed by Dr. Carolyn McMakin, and it works by delivering precise electrical frequencies to specific tissues and positively affects them at a cellular level. Published research has shown that specific FSM frequencies can reduce inflammatory markers by up to 50% in as little as 4 minutes. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Frequencies, microcurrent, that sounds like something off of a late night infomercial. And I get it. I was skeptical too. And then I saw what happened with my first client. And I realized this was not some alternative medicine hoping to work. This was measurable science delivering real results. And here's what I need you to understand. Every day you live with an unresolved, dysregulated nervous system, the cost compounds. Your relationships suffer because you cannot be fully present. You're protecting yourself instead of connecting with others. Your work suffers because your brain is too busy scanning for threats to focus on what truly matters. Your health begins to deteriorate because your body has been running on cortisol and adrenaline for years. Now that takes a physical toll on your mental and your physical health. And studies have shown that untreated PTSD costs an average individual around $19,630 per year in lost wages, health care, and reduced quality of life. The longer you wait, the deeper the groove gets. This is not something that fixes itself, and managing it is not the same as fixing it. And I'm going to be honest with you because this truly does matter. When we get your nervous system back in tune, when those guitar strings come back into alignment, the symptoms begin to go away. The anxiety starts to lift, and the sleep patterns start to come back to normal. Your hypervigilance stops, and you feel calm for the first time in years. And then something unexpected happens. You have to figure out who you are, because for so long your identity has been wrapped up in managing the illness and protecting yourself and surviving. And then one morning you wake up and that's all gone. And you think, wait a minute, who am I now? What does my life look like without this? That is actually a good problem to have. That is a problem that means it worked. And we help people navigate that too. We help them rebuild around a life that's actually theirs, free from everything that was keeping them captive. But here's the point. On the other side of this is not just the absence of pain. It's the presence of possibility. The ability for you to show up for your family, to be present with people you love, and to perform at work at a level that you're capable of, to have energy again, to feel like yourself again. So here's what I want you to do. We created something called the Quantum FSM Assessment. Now, it's a 75-minute session, and here's exactly what happens. First, we do a comprehensive nervous system evaluation. We look at exactly where your system is stuck and what is out of alignment. And then we run through a full FSM protocol session because our system uses microcurrent. You won't actually feel the frequency, but you will feel the effects of it. And most clients feel something is different after the initial session, or they start seeing differences a day or two later, not after several weeks or months. We'll map out a recovery plan tailored specifically to your nervous system. Right now, the assessment is only $125, and that's cheaper than the average dentist appointment and cheaper than a trip to the urgent care. Now, the good news is there's no referral needed, no doctor diagnosis is required, no insurance hassles, and it's important to also remember that we can't make any guarantees of results. But here's my promise to you. If you follow the plan we create for you, and we're not able to make a noticeable difference in your life reducing symptoms, we'll give you a credit towards a future session with a free follow-up. And I'm that confident in what this technology can do to help you. Now, I only take 10 new assessment clients per week because I want to give every person the attention that they deserve. So if you're watching this and something in you is saying, this might be it, do not wait. Click the link below and book your assessment now. 6 to 8 weeks from now, you could be sleeping through the night and you could be showing up for your family in a way that you have not been able to in years. You could be living a life that actually feels like yours. Your nervous system was designed by a perfect designer, and it was designed to heal. It just needs the right frequencies to find its way back to healing. And the only question remaining is this: do you want to get well?